Check, check. All right. Sweet. Looks like we are live. I just got the notification myself, so I'm going to promote that. Share to my page. There we go. And sweet. Cool. Oh, 9 viewers. Awesome. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in so early. Welcome. This is my bedroom here in Newport Richey, Florida, where we are typically live. My name is McKinney Sizemore, one half of Gentleman Octopus Trivia. And tonight we are going solo. TJ's not feeling particularly well, so going to be taking this one to the bag myself. Thanks for hanging out, and I can't wait to be bringing you 5 rounds of 8 questions, just like we always do. So hang tight. We'll be getting started pretty soon. There we go. Hey, so yeah, I got a message about the sound. Thank you, Sarah, for your concern. This time it was actually intentional. Most of the time it's totally by accident that I mess up and forget to turn off the mute. This time it was intentional. I wanted to pull up the YouTube and Twitch windows, and I didn't want the sound from those to be going over top of me trying to talk. So I just pulled them up first and put them on mute, which was easy to do while I myself was on mute. So that's what that was about. And Sarah, baby, thank you very much for looking out for me. Let's see. 8 viewers. 10 minutes till we start, so I think it's time to move over to our supporter page. I want to say a big thank you to everybody who has supported us, not only in the past weeks, but also in our first weeks. A couple of those up there for sure. Jason Kwong, Mark Dawson, Clifford Gallagher, Kent Buxton, Rachel Schumann absolutely come to mind, as well as Dan Fitzpatrick and Stephen Glassman. Everybody else who has just been a more or less constant supporter and has really helped us to realize this fun enterprise that we've got going on. People like that include John Liu, JT Trujillo, Will Gilbert, Stephanie Andrew, Michelle Martin, Martin Butterick, Daniel McMarthy, Richard Mason, and Daniel Ludlam. And of course, I want to give an extra special shout out to my girlfriend Sarah Ann Rapp, who has not only helped out with offering up her opinions and letting us bounce ideas off of each other, but has also written and co-written a couple of questions tonight. And you'll be hearing those toward the end of the game, and I'm definitely looking forward to showing you what those are all about. So stay tuned. That's going to be a lot of fun. Greetage, says Mr. Jerome. Hey, Jerome, how you doing tonight? Let's see. 12 viewers. Excellent. Looks like we're building up. Just vamping, really, for the moment. We don't get started until 9 o'clock for anybody who's just joining us for the first time. So one of the things I am going to do is I'm going to go to our wonderful answer sheet portal, which is powered by our friend Jason Borsum at Liquid Courage Entertainment. Jason Borsum, by the way, holy hell. The man writes nonstop. He hosts games nonstop. He hosted hundreds of games in 2020 and was one of the first people, along with Russ Friedewald, who's also a really good friend, who really took to online trivia and making it a whole thing and turning it into this really fun thing that we could do and reach out to our friends all across the country while we're all sheltered in place. Jason Borsum is a great individual and is fantastically talented with creating back-end material and dealing with all of the what most of us who just like to host and write would consider the nightmare side of online trivia, which is just dealing with creating algorithms and formulae for creating answer sheets and all kinds of detection software. So, Jason, thank you very much for all your help. Russ, thank you very much for all you do. Big fan of both y'all. We hope that you keep doing it for a long, long time. So, under the YouTube and under the Twitch stream, I went ahead and copied the answer forms so that you can have those ready to go. I realize I have not yet done that for YouTube, which is what I'm doing right now, navigating over to the window, and I'm already muted, so that's fantastic. And here are your answer sheets. Why am I McKinney? I don't want to be McKinney right now. I realize I have not yet done that. There we go. And there I am, Octopus now. There we are. Cool. So your answer forms are there, and I have pinned that comment, so you can all navigate over there and check it out. We have a little bit more than 5 minutes before we get started, so why don't we talk about Octopus merchandise? Yes. We had a couple of people snag some merchandise last week, which was great. We love to send it out, and we love offering gear that y'all can wear. We've seen some real high-powered players, some big names in the trivia world wearing some of our material, and that's just a great feeling. If you want to cop yourself one of those sweet black Octopus shirts or one of the classic orange, all you got to do is send a donation of $25 or more to either the Venmo handle, that's at McKinney-Sizemore, or the PayPal at ksizemore@hotmail.com. We're starting to run just a little bit low in certain sizes, which means we're getting ready to think about a reorder and even a redesign. So we're looking for your input on that, actually. If there is a certain color that you would like to see, please let us know, because we aim to satisfy. We've got a couple of ideas in mind, but it's always great to hear what everyone else is thinking, and we would love to be able to provide materials that you yourself would want to buy. And again, if you want to get in on that, just send $25 or more to Venmo at McKinney-Sizemore or PayPal ksizemore@hotmail.com. T. Longua, thank you very much for the follow on Twitch. Thanks for supporting us on one of our 3 multi-stream platforms. We're on Twitch, we're on YouTube, and we are on Facebook, facebook.com/octopustrivia. YouTube, I believe, is /The Gentleman Octopus. And then Twitch is also twitch.tv/octopustrivia. Stephen Glassman, that is a great point. It's time for a rainbow octopus. I love that idea. Only issue is that they charge by the color at the place where we go. It would be really cool if maybe we could do like an image that was a gradient and get away with having more than one color in that way. But that is an awesome idea. I like that idea. Rainbow octopus forever. Or we could even just start doing like individual colors of the rainbow and make you buy them all in order to assemble them yourself. Do the whole Roy G. Biv action, but we're not that greedy. All right, moving on to Quick Wits. I talked about Jason Borsum. I talked about Russ Friedewald. Great partners of ours. Definitely great members of the trivia community. Another awesome group of people is Quick Wit. Quick Wit is an exciting and competitive trivia app that rewards players with physical prizes. I myself, in this past week, have won a Diamond Head ukulele, which I've had my eye on for forever. A weighted sleep mask, which apparently retails for about $40 and seems to really do the trick for those mid-afternoon naps. And I just won last night a mini popcorn maker while watching the Super Bowl, so that was fantastic. But yeah, you can win great stuff on QuickWit. They're constantly changing up their prizes. What's going to happen when you download that app is you're going to get asked 2 questions at more or less random points throughout the day. You will have 15 minutes to answer those questions without the benefit of multiple choice. And of course, be careful because spelling counts. And what you're going to do is when you answer that question, if you are the fastest person to submit the correct answer, you will win whatever prize has been on offer. So, all kinds of cool stuff. I've got a pair of sunglasses. There's a Monopoly board game, a Back to the Future board game. I've got a drone here in this desk drawer. I've gotten tons of Bluetooth speakers from them. They're a great group of people, and if you already have the app and know how great they are, make sure that you download it and make sure that you are updated, because of the fact that we will have a sponsored question running tomorrow. And if you want to be able to see that and get all of the brand new features, make sure that your app is updated. So check out QuickWit, totally free to play, no credits, no nothing. I haven't spent a dime, and I've won 40 different prizes, according to my profile. So check it out. We love them. Great group of people. All right. I have definitely vamped long enough. So your rules. If you're joining us for the first time tonight, hold on, just got a little froggy in my throat there. Please submit your answers using the Google Forms provided on the event page, or in this case, in the video comments as I posted. Make sure that you include your team name on each one of those answer forms, and only submit each form one time. Otherwise, our system gets bogged down with submissions, has a hard time identifying which team you actually are, and can cause significant consternation with the live leaderboard. So just submit your answers one time. You're going to get 5 rounds of 8 questions tonight, and your middle round will be a music round with a theme. Feel free to play individually or team up using whatever kind of group chat you happen to have. We do not have a limit on number of players per team. We recommend between 6 and 8 is probably a good maximum, just because after a while it's like herding cats. But totally up to you. Totally up to you. Whatever you feel is within the spirit of how you want to play, and whatever you feel is fun and satisfying for you. Again, with the rules, each correct answer to a question will be worth 1 point. The only exception here is in the music round, you're going to get 1 point for a correct title, 1 point for a correct artist, and 2 points for getting the theme correct. Now, the title and artist points are not mutually dependent on one another. You can get a point for getting a correct title or a point for getting a correct artist, but you won't get a 0 if you get either one of those wrong. You can get just 1 point for a title, 1 point for an artist, or you can get 2 points for getting both correct. So, we're trying to make sure you have as many ways to score as possible. Questions will be read once and then recapped. We will have a submission timer during that after the recap, and that will be a 3-minute timer, during which I'll go over the slides again without my voice or without reading the questions. I'll be showing you the slides while the timer goes on. And at the end of that timer, make sure that you've submitted your answers. Like always, there will be no final question, and there is no preemptive tiebreaker. Like, we don't already have a tiebreaker written. If there is a first place tie at the end of the game, I will put all the questions into a random number generator, and whatever number that RNG gives me, I will write a closest to the pin question based on that question. So that's how we handle ties. While I've got everybody here, and while we're about to start, I may have mentioned this earlier, but I'm going solo tonight because TJ is not feeling well. He's got a stomach thing going on. So if y'all could just put some get well messages in the chat for him, I'd love for him to get the chance to read those back. So make sure you show him some love, and thank you very much for being here. I think it's time to get started with round number 1 and question number 1. Your first question of the night, like always, is a literature question. Question number 1. The first printed edition of the New York Times fiction bestsellers list put what English novelist of the Forsyte Saga on top for a majority of its 1931 inaugural run? John, Jerome, thank you very much for those get well messages. Like I said, fill them up in the chat if you can. Want him to be able to see those when he gets back. And this is your first question, which I will recap for you. I'll read again one time. The first printed edition of the New York Times fiction bestseller list debuted in 1931. For a majority of that year, what English novelist of the Forsyte Saga was number 1 on that list? That is question number 1. It has to do with a number 1. And here's question number 2. This is a nice and short one. Maybe requires a bit of explaining. Question number 2. At an area of approximately 587,000 square kilometers, which country is the largest single island nation in the world? Now, just to clarify, this country is not the largest island nation in the world, but it is the largest island nation principally composed of just one island. There are tons of archipelagic nations out there that have thousands of islands that are much bigger. But this question, we want to know, at an area of 587,000 square kilometers, which country is the largest single island nation in the world? That's question number 2. Question number 3, a little bit of media for you. Pictured on the following slide is the bounty of burgers and fries that, shockingly, led to a DNP, or did not play, / illness for what Turkish center in a case of cheat meal gone wrong. I apologize for the typos. I didn't really get the chance to run a test game today. Let's see. For what Turkish center did the following image showing a bounty of burgers and fries result in a did not play and illness? And here is the picture, and there's the Turkish center. We are looking for the name of that athlete who indulged in that huge bevy of burgers and fries, and then the following day was unable to participate due to a shocking illness as a result of this. That is question number 3. Identify that Turkish center who went hog wild on their cheat day. Question number 4. Historically, a gastaldo was responsible for issuing licenses to practitioners of the most famous profession in what international city? Today, those licenses are limited to approximately 400 and earned following an apprenticeship. Sarah, thank you very much for giving TJ those get well messages. Sarah, John, and Jerome, thank you. John and Jeremy, yes, I apologize. The last question was a bit confusingly worded. Again, I had a poor day of editing today. I am looking for the name of the athlete in this slide. This athlete had a cheat day in which they went off their diet and just gorged on, I think it was Shake Shack, burgers and fries, and the following day were unable to participate in an NBA game. We were looking for the name of that Turkish NBA center who is in that picture. And one more time here on question number 4, we're looking for the name of a city. Historically, a gastaldo was responsible for issuing licenses to practitioners of the most famous profession in what international city? Today, these licenses are limited to approximately 400 and earned following an apprenticeship. So here in question number 4, we are looking for the name of the city where a gastaldo used to issue licenses to practitioners of that city's most famous profession. That's question number 4. Here's question number 5, another image question for you. Question number 5, the Bay Area hardware store seen on the following slide serves as the final setting to what 2007 film based on a book by Robert Graysmith? A book by Robert Graysmith inspired what 2007 film, whose final setting, the interior of a Bay Area hardware store, is seen on this slide. So this is the final scene of what 2007 film based on a book by Robert Graysmith. Again, this is the interior of a hardware store in the Bay Area. Give you just a few more seconds to look at that. And that is question number 5. Question number 6. Taurine and zebu cattle both evolved from what massive species of extinct wild cattle seen on the following slide, which was last spotted in the Jaktorov forest in Poland? So again, what species of extinct wild cattle, massive extinct wild cattle, by the way, as seen on the following slide, was last seen in the Jaktorov forest in Poland? This particular species of wild cattle begat the lines of taurine and zebu cattle that we see today. And that is that cattle. That is that horned boy, or the bovine boy. For those of you keeping track with those Gentleman Octopus bingo cards, in which we qualify every image of an animal with a boy. Also, for those of you who are just joining us, this is one of those questions that is basically always the same format week in and week out. Question 6, round number 1, is an identify that animal question. And question 8, round number 2, is a anagram with a bit of a Randy bend to it. So prepare for that. In the meantime, that is question number 6. We're looking for the name of that extinct wild species of massive, massive cattle. And now we move on to question number 7. 6 modern-day countries, including the one that appears in its 2-word name, made up what large geographic region, once ruled by Francisco de Paula Santander and Simón Bolívar. So Francisco de Paula Santander as vice president and Simón Bolívar as president once ruled what large geographic region that today makes up 6 modern-day countries, including the one that appears in this region's 2-word name. What historic large region composed today of 6 modern-day countries are we talking about? That's what we're looking for. And that's question number 7. Let's move on to question number 8. Oh, that's the wrong way. Question number 8. Cocktails such as the Cartagena favorite, the Asiatico, and the lustily named Velvet Threesome require what spirits also found in a French connection and a sidecar? So the Asiatico, as favorably consumed in Cartagena, and the lustily named Velvet Threesome are 2 cocktails that require what spirit, which is also found in a French connection and a sidecar. Looking for the name of the spirit there. That is question number 8, which means it is time for a quick recap of your first round. Question number 1. This was your question on the New York Times fiction bestsellers list. When the list first appeared in print in 1931, what English novelist of the Forsyte Saga was on top for a majority of that year? Question number 2. At an area of 587,000 square kilometers, which country is the largest single island nation in the world? Question number 3. Essentially, the question is, who is the man in this photograph? This man is an NBA center of Turkish heritage who indulged in that burger and fry meal one day, and the next day was unable to participate due to a stomach illness. Wonder why, looking at all that food there. Question number 4. In what international city would a gastaldo historically issue licenses to practitioners of its most famous profession? Today, these licenses are limited to approximately 400 and are earned following an apprenticeship. Question number 5. On this slide here, you'll see the final setting for what 2007 film based on a book by Robert Graysmith. As an extra hint, this is the setting here is the interior of a hardware store in the Bay Area. And question number 6. What is the name of the massive extinct species of wild cattle that is seen on the following slide? It was last seen in the Jaktorov forest in Poland and begat the modern lines of taurine and zebu cattle that we see today. And that is that cattle one more time. Nice quick recap for you. Here's question 7 once again. 6 modern-day countries, including the one that appears in its 2-word name, made up what large geographic historical region once ruled by Francisco de Paula Santander and Simón Bolívar? And your last question of round number 1 is this one. Cocktails such as the Asiatico and the lustily named Velvet Threesome require what spirit, also found in a French Connection and a sidecar? So what spirit can be found in those 4 cocktails that are mentioned? The Asiatico, the Velvet Threesome, the French Connection, and the sidecar. That is our question, and I'm going to roll it back to the top here and set your timer. Also going to pick out tonight's interlude music, so definitely look forward to that. Best of luck, everybody, and get your answers in as soon as you can. I'll see you soon. Bye for now. All right, it is time to take a look at the answers from round number 1 and then meet our teams playing the game tonight. I've got everything graded, so let's check it out. Round number 1, question number 1. The first printed edition of the New York Times fiction bestseller list put what English novelist of the Forsyte Saga on top for a majority of its 1931 inaugural run? That would be John Galsworthy. John Galsworthy's novel, Maid in Waiting, which itself does not have a Wikipedia article, was on top for, I think, 6 to 8 weeks of the inaugural run of the New York Times printed bestseller list. But the list only was published in, like, September, so it was still a majority of its run. That was Galsworthy. Question number 2. Nearly everybody got this. Oh, someone's asking me to unlock the answer form. Internet issues in Grenada. That would do it. Give me 1 second. I will do that. Yeah, go right ahead. I will twiddle my thumbs here for just a bit and try not to talk about any of the answers. Always the hardest part, by the way, about hosting online trivia is not too excitedly giving away information or singing any of the songs that appear in the music round. So we're just going to wait for that last submission real quick. Everybody else, by the way, did a really good job of getting in on time, so thank you for that. That's not to throw shade at our friends in Grenada. Obviously, Grenada is definitely different in terms of internet connection-wise. Such a long, long way. I realize now I don't even entirely know where Grenada is. I think it's near the bottom of the Caribbean islands down by Dominica. 11 responses. Please feel free to flame me for how inaccurate whatever I just said was. And I will quickly validate this person's answers. Let's see here. That is correct. Okay, cool. That should be everything. Here's question number 2. At an area of 587,000 square kilometers, which country is the largest single island nation in the world? We had one guess of Indonesia, which is definitely the largest island nation in the world. Has thousands of islands, though. The answer to this question, however, was Madagascar. The main island of Madagascar is more than 500,000 square kilometers by itself and makes it the largest single island nation in the world. Question number 3. Pictured on the following slide is the bounty of burgers and fries that, shockingly, led to a stomach illness for what Turkish center in a case of cheat meal gone wrong? He's very happy to tuck into that. I would be too on most days. I mean, it looks like he's got, I think there's fried egg on those burgers. The buns look great. Those fries, probably decently salty. There's some good stuff there. But overindulging led to a did not play for Enes Kanter. Enes Kanter, one of the most interesting men in the NBA for sure. Definitely look him up. Question number 4. Historically, a Gestaldo was responsible for issuing licenses to practitioners of the most famous profession in what international city? Today, these licenses are limited to approximately only 400 and earned following an apprenticeship. In addition to like 600 hours of training, you have to have an apprenticeship in order to become a gondolier in Venice. Venice was the answer there. It's very much on par with the knowledge, with London cabbie drivers. In fact, that's what inspired this question, was thinking about particular regional professions that require so much training. And gondolier is definitely one of those. Question number 5. The Bay Area hardware store, seen on the following slide, serves as the final setting to what 2007 film based on a book by Robert Graysmith? I believe the guy's name, the character, is like Arthur Hugh Allen. 3 names, so that means he's either a novelist or a serial killer, and in this case, he was the suspected Zodiac killer. At the end, Jake Gyllenhaal, as Graysmith, tracks down the man he believes is the Zodiac killer, finds him working at the Ace Hardware store, and there's like this little bit of tense standoff kind of a moment, and then it just goes to black. So, interesting ending. to a bit of a slog of a film. Pacing is kind of all over the place, but the mood is fantastic. And of course, so is Robert Downey Jr. as Paul Avery. Question number 6. Taurine and zebu cattle both evolved from what massive species of extinct wild cattle seen on the following slide, which was last spotted in the Jakarov Forest in Poland? Zach says, great movie, absolutely. And Alexander, 3 named people are also 90s child actors, for sure. Jonathan Taylor Thomas, looking at you. This big old boy is an oryx. That guy looks nothing like Ted Cruz. Yeah, the oryx, they used to be all over the place in Europe, but they, I believe, were hunted to extinction because they got a lot of meat on them. But anyway, the oryx is responsible for a couple of main lines of cattle that we see today. Question number 7. 6 modern-day countries, including the one that appears in its 2-word name, made up what large historical region, once ruled by Francisco de Paula Santander and Simón Bolívar. Bolívar and Santander were respectively the first president and vice president of Gran Colombia. Gran Colombia was the answer we were looking for. I remember reading something that John Quincy Adams, I believe, visited Gran Colombia and considered it to be one of the major world powers at the time. And question number 8. Cocktails such as the Cartagena Favorite, the Asiatico, and the lustily named Velvet Threesome require what spirit, also found in a French connection and a sidecar? That spirit would be cognac. We actually had one team specifically say Courvoisier, which is funny because that was the slide I chose to, or the image rather, I chose to use for the answer slide. Like to say thank you to Stephen for the first donation of the night for what he calls the weekly pummeling. I hope that it's a bit more fun than that for you, and I hope you all get to learn something. We have a fun time bringing these questions to you. All right, now let's take a look at round number 2, but we'll do that in a minute because I'd like to see who we've got playing tonight. So, starting at the bottom with the best team names so far, everybody's working for the weekend. We've got Kentucky Bear Jamboree, which is always a favorite, Kanye West Nile Virus, and then we have a remarkable 8-way tie for first place at the moment. All perfect scores from, let's see, third podium. The streaker got closer to the end zone than the Chiefs did. Ouch. Team Coast to Coast, Stone Cold Jane Austen, Slumdog 10 Lakianair, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, Octopodes Nuts, Gentlefolk Octopodes, and B3 Front Stroking King. Thank you very much, everybody, for playing. Hey, Zach Foster, thank you very much for the donation just now. So Zach and Steven getting us started early with those. Just want to say a quick thing about the Asiatico. It uses this liquor that I really wanted to write about, but it's decently obscure here in the States, called Liqueur 43. They serve Liqueur 43 because of its color and like its bit of foamy consistency in a mini pint glass and call it a mini beer. It's pretty cool. And now, let's check out round number 2. We got another donation. Hey, Richard Mason, thank you very much for your donation. Richard, Zach, and Steven really getting us started. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Let's start with round number 2 and question number 1. Question number 1. According to TripAdvisor, Moss Mansion, the Rimrocks, and Pictograph Cave State Park are the top attractions in what city? The most populous in Montana. In what most populous Montana city would you find the TripAdvisor approved attractions Moss Mansion, the Rimrocks, and Pictograph Cave State Park? What's the most populous city in Montana? That's question number 1. Question number 2. What cartoon pair has been nominated for the most Oscars in the category of Best Animated Short Film with 13 nominations, nabbing a total of 7 statuettes? So once again, 13 nominations and 7 wins comprise the Academy Award resume of what cartoon pair, the most nominated in the Oscar category of Best Animated Short Film. Moving on now to question number 3. Really getting through these. Question number 3, I did not practice the pronunciation. The Lapua movement was a proto-fascist political party that was banned after an attempted insurrection in which country, where members perpetrated violence in the cities of Vaasa and Jonsu. So once again, the Lapua movement was a proto-fascist political party banned after an attempted insurrection in which country, where the party perpetrated violence in the cities of Vaasa and Jonsu. That's question number 3. If anybody is better at those pronunciations, definitely give us a shout when the answer is revealed. Question number 4, another media question for you. Pictured on the following slide are a statue and partly redacted inscription of a memorial created by Gertrude Vanderbilt Whitney in 1933 in commemoration of lives lost during what event? I'm going to disappear for just a second. So, you see on the left a statue, and on the right the inscription from that statue. This memorial was created in 1933 by Gertrude Vanderbilt Whitney in order to commemorate the lives lost during what event? And if you're, a bit hard of sight, I'll read that for you. It says, "To the brave men who perished, redacted. They gave their lives that women and children might be saved. Erected by the Women of America." So we're just looking for the name of the event that this 1933 statue is commemorating. Give you just a few more seconds. All right, and coming back and going into the second half of round number 2 with question number 5. Question number 5. What singer last hit number 1 in their native UK in 2013 with a cover of Somewhere Only We Know? She last charted in the United States as a featured artist on the Pink song True Love. So one more time, the Pink song True Love featured what UK artist who last topped the charts in her home country with a 2013 cover of the Keen hit Somewhere Only We Know? That's question number 5. And question number 6. Colonial interests divided a majority of sub-Saharan Africa during an 1884-85 conference in which European capital, the outcome of which accelerated the so-called Scramble for Africa. The Scramble for Africa largely broke out as a result, or rather as in the aftermath of, what conference, which was hosted in a European capital, in which colonial interests divided a majority of sub-Saharan Africa. So we're looking for the name of the European capital where that Congress was hosted, and that is question number 6. Question number 7. Named for a 19th century Italian physicist, which organ located in the cochlea uses an array of hair and epithelial cells to receive acoustic input? That should not be physicist, that should be physician. Named for a 19th century Italian physician, which organ located in the cochlea uses an array of hair and epithelial cells in order to receive acoustic input? Largely, of course, responsible for the sensation of hearing. That's question number 7. Let's move on to our final question. I think you already know what it is. It is the Randy Anagram. So, Randy Anagram time. Rearrange the following letters to form an 8-letter word. Your letters are N-O-T-A-S-T-U-D. And that spells not a stud. Your hint is, though he certainly has some impressive qualities. And so you got not a stud. Rearrange those, and what 8-letter word do you get? Your hint is, though he certainly has some impressive qualities. Bit of an extra hint, too. I will accept one of 2 answers. 2. If you happen to give one of those two answers, I will accept it. And now let's move on to your recap. Question number 1, once again, what is the most populous city in the state of Montana? Give you another second or two. And question number 2, what cartoon pair holds the record for most Academy Award nominations for Best Animated Short Film? This cartoon pair has been nominated 13 times and won the award on 7 different occasions. That's question number 2. Question number 3, which country was once home to the Lapua movement, a since-banned political party who perpetrated violence in the cities of Vaasa and Yonsu? I'll give you a second to look at those spellings, look at those cities, and see if you can piece it together. And moving on to question number 4. This is your image question. Pictured on the following slide are a statue and partly redacted inscription of a memorial created by Gertrude Vanderbilt Whitney, yes, of those Vanderbilts, and yes, of those Whitneys, to commemorate the lives lost during what event? The statue was erected in 1933, and the inscription again says, "To the brave men who perished, they gave their lives that women and children might be saved. Erected by the women of America." That's question number 4, just looking for the name of the event that this memorial commemorates. All right. And question number 5, what UK singer was the featured artist on Pink's hit True Love? This same singer last hit number 1 in their home country in 2013 with a cover of the Keane song, Somewhere Only We Know. Moving on now from question number 5 into question number 6. In what European capital city was a congress hosted in which colonial interests divided a majority of sub-Saharan Africa? In the aftermath of this conference, the so-called Scramble for Africa began in earnest. Once again, just looking for the name of the European capital city in which this particular Congress was hosted from 1884 to 85. And moving on to question number 7. Name for a 19th century Italian physician, which organ located in the cochlea uses an array of hair and epithelial cells to receive acoustic input? What organ largely responsible for the sense of hearing is named for an Italian physician? That's question number 7. And question number 8 is your Randy anagram. Once again, your letters are N-O-T-A-S-T-U-D. That spells not a stud. Your hint is, though he certainly has some impressive qualities. Not a stud, he certainly has some impressive qualities. Again, I will take one of 2 different answers for this question. And that is the end of round number 2. I'm going to roll it back to the front here and set the timer, bust some more classical music, maybe something with piano this time, I think. And I'll set up the countdown. See you in just a few minutes. Good luck. All right, wonderful. Welcome back, everybody. We have received all of our submissions, and they've been graded. So let's take a look at the answers from round number 2. We've got the music round ahead, so get excited for that. Here was your first question in round number 2. According to TripAdvisor, Moss Mansion, the Rim Rocks, and Pictograph Cave State Park are the top attractions in what city? The most populous in Montana. And that would be Billings, Montana. Had some really good guesses for Missoula and Bozeman, but I believe Billings has it by a couple 100,000. It's by Montana standards not exactly close, but Billings was your correct answer. Question number 2. What cartoon pair has been nominated for the most Oscars in the category of Best Animated Short Film with 13 nominations, nabbing a total of 7 statuettes? This is interesting because when TJ brought this question to me, I thought maybe it was a little easy, but I realized there are so many different cartoon pairs that are eligible. We had guesses of Mickey and Minnie Mouse. We had Chip and Dale. One I didn't see but expected to was Wallace and Gromit. But the answer is Tom and Jerry. And that is a still from the first Academy Award winning short of Tom and Jerry's called Yankee Doodle Mouse. Question number 3. The Lapua movement was a proto-fascist political party that was banned after an attempted insurrection in which country, where members perpetrated violence in the cities of Vaasa and Jonsu? Everybody got this correct. That is Finland. That is the logo of the Patriotic People's Party, which was basically a continuation of the Lapua movement after they were banned. But I just thought it was interesting how in history we've had a proto-fascist political party that has perpetrated violence, attempted a coup and an insurrection against its country, and its members were arrested and punished and jailed, and its party was disbanded because they took action against that kind of stuff. Just saying. Question number 4. Pictured on the following slide are a statue and partly redacted inscription of a memorial created by Gertrude Vanderbilt Whitney of Yes, Those Vanderbilts and Yes, Those Whitneys in 1933 to memorialize the lives lost during what earlier event? Well, I couldn't give you the year, even though this was already a social, but that is the sinking of the Titanic or the RMS Titanic or anything that mentions the Titanic. I would have just taken Titanic. Or, the thing that kicks off season 1 of Downton Abbey. That would have been fine too. But, yep, that was the statue. And webcam. Question number 5. What singer last hit number 1 in their native UK in 2013 with a cover of Somewhere Only We Know? She last charted in the United States as a featured artist on Pink's True Love. And that would be Lily Allen. I believe that might be the 3rd time Lily Allen has come up, but the first time in Octopus history she's been the answer to a regular question and not a music round question. Question number 6. Colonial interests divided a majority of sub-Saharan Africa during an 1884-85 conference in which European capital, the outcome of which accelerated the so-called Scramble for Africa. Obviously, the Congress of Vienna is quite famous, but much earlier. This was the Congress of Berlin. This was a political cartoon of the time that showed the colonial powers basically deciding which chunks of Africa they would get without asking, anybody who actually lived there. Well, not asking them and giving them a choice, rather. Question number 7. Name for a 19th century Italian physician. Which organ, located in the cochlea, uses an array of hair and epithelial cells to receive and conduct acoustic input? That would be the organ of Corti. The Corti organ, or the organ of Corti, is largely responsible for our sense of hearing. And your last one. Rearrange the following letters to form an 8-letter word. You've got not a stud. N-O-T-A-S-T-U-D. Your hint was, though he certainly has some impressive qualities. I think everybody got this, and nobody answered with the alternative answer, and that would be standout. Yes, standout or outstand I would take as well, because apparently it is also a legitimate word, though I've not heard it used on its own. I've only heard it as the gerund outstanding. But standout was the answer to that question. And now let's take a look at the scores we got going on. I think we broke the 8-way tie at first place, or at least thinned it out a little bit. We've got Kentucky Bear Jamboree down there in 11, but still holding strong in the team name game. We've got 10 points for Everybody's Working for the Weekend. We've got not 10 points, but 10th place for Everybody's Working for the Weekend. 9th place is Kanye West Nile Virus. 8th is Slumdog 10 La Air. We have a 3-way tie for 5th place with Third Podium, Team Coast to Coast, and Gentlefolk Octopodes, all of which have a total of 15 points. And we have 4 teams tied with a perfect score so far of 16 points. And that is the Streaker got closer to the end zone than the Chiefs, Stone Cold Jane Austen, and Octopodes Nuts, as well as B3 Front Stroking King. All right, hold on to those scores because it is time to start the music round. I'm going to pull that up right now. I'm going to drop a Vocaroo link into your respective chats in Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. Give me 1 second to grab that, and then I will give you the instructions for that round. Essentially, what's going to happen is you're going to follow this link, and it will have your music round. You will have 10 minutes to conduct yourself and submit your answers. Conduct yourself. I never say that. And the link itself, I think, is like 5.5 minutes long. So you have a chance to listen, rewind, and listen again. So take advantage of that time. And you will need to identify the title and the artist of each one of the songs played, as well as give it a shot at guessing the theme from our round. So check it out. Best of luck to everybody. I'm going to pin that comment as well so you can all see it. 1 point will be given for each correctly guessed title, 1 point for each artist, 2 for the theme. The links are all posted in the comments, and you have 10 minutes to submit. So best of luck, everybody. Jerry Kearney, thank you very much for the follow. I love seeing the tentacles pop up. And DM Fitz 9, we almost went with Toad Nuts. I love that. I'm kind of jealous that I didn't think of that for the actual pre-solved anagram. Well done, you. All right. Best of luck, everybody. I will not be turning on a bit of filler music. I will be coming back on only at the 2-minute warning to let you know how much time is left. In the meantime, enjoy and good luck. All right, you have a little bit left, a little bit less than 2 minutes to get your answers in. I don't see any responses yet, but you still have a little bit less than 90 seconds to go. Just make sure that you're getting those in as soon as you can. Best of luck. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're enjoying the round. See you soon. All right, that is the end of the submission timer. Let's see. It looks like we have one team so far submitted. Team Coast to Coast, congratulations on being the first team in. The Streaker got closer. Thank you for also submitting just now. Looks like we got a third submission coming in from Octopus Nuts. Thanks very much. Everybody, go ahead and get your answers in as soon as you can. I'm going to play a little bit of filler music just to kind of chase you in. Looks like we have our fourth and fifth submission from Third Podium and B3 Front Stroking King. Everybody's working for the weekend is in. Who else is in? I thought I had 7 here. Okay, cool. Yeah, keep them coming. As soon as I get everybody in, I'll grade those answer forms and get back to you as soon as possible. This is probably the best time to hit the restroom, powder your nose, get yourself a new beverage or something. So I will see you in just a couple of minutes. And hopefully you did very well on the music round. Best of retro luck to you. All right, we are back, and just again would like to say thank you to our donors tonight. Want to say thank you to Richard Mason, Zach Foster, and Stephen Glassman. If you feel like contributing and have the means to do so, please hit us up at Venmo at McKinney-Sizemore, as you can see on the slide there, or use PayPal, ksizemore@hotmail.com. If you do not have a Gentleman Octopus bottle opener and give us $10 or more, we'll send you one of those. And if you want a Gentleman Octopus t-shirt, send us 25 or more, and we'll get that out to you as soon as we can. But it is now time to take a look at the answers from round number 3. Jerome says, nice variety of music. I went to high school with the drummer from one of the bands. Awesome, that's pretty sweet. I have a guess of which band that could be. Let's check it out and see if we're right. Round number 3, your first song was The Time of My Life by David Cook. I remember when Kelly Clarkson won American Idol, they gave her a moment like this, like they gave her that song, and they did the same for David Cook. Did they continue to write a song for the winner of American Idol after Cook? Or is that something they discontinued? But yeah, David Cook, known for The Time of My Life, is his first single, and also the song Light On, which another team did guess. Song number 2 is This Land by Gary Clark Jr. You can probably tell by the fact that I made it the longest clip in the music round that of the ones I heard for the first time this week, this was my absolute favorite. And we used to kind of cover Gary Clark Jr. and other blues rock artists when I wrote for a Blues Rock Review, so it was really nice to get back to the roots in a way there. But that is a great song. Definitely listen to the full thing if you get the chance. Song number 3, we've got Summer by Calvin Harris. Yeah, Calvin Harris came up recently with Dua Lipa on... What song did they do together? Is it Electricity? I think it's Electricity. But I might be wrong about that. Drop it in the chat if you know the Calvin Harris-Dua Lipa team up. Song number 4, Dankeschön by Wayne Newton. Now, my German-speaking friend Ian said that it's Dankeschön, though of course it's pronounced over and over again by Mr. Newton as Dankeschön. And that was the answer to that question, which I made shortest because, I'll be honest, it wasn't my favorite. Plus, I got a little bit of something against Wayne Newton because one of the times I went to film Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, he was there, and because his schedule was kind of constantly in flux, they decided to put him ahead of my group and record his celebrity episode. So, yeah, that's a little Wayne Newton run-in. Which, by the way, I think we were late because Wayne Newton was doing a thing is probably a very standard Las Vegas excuse. Song number 5, One Kiss, Amy Young. Thank you very much. That is the exact thing I was searching for. Invader Stevens says Gary Clark Jr. is amazing, and I look forward to the return to concerts so I can go see him. That would be awesome. I'd love to see if he comes to my neck of the woods for sure. Song number 5, Los Angeles by the band X. This is my guess, Jerome, for the drummer that you knew. That is one of those nice proto-punk songs that really kicked off the movement, especially in the West Coast. Song number 6, Check Yes, Juliet, We the Kings. If you pretty much said anything that included Juliet, I gave you credit for it. It was a while ago. It's a bit of a different song title, so lenient on that one. Song number 7, No One Knows by Queens of the Stone Age. Big sad to the team that said Queens of Stonehenge. Very, very close, but I imagine that is also an actual band, so I did not give credit for that one. But great song there, excellent breakdowns, and that was the album Songs for the Deaf, on which Dave Grohl was the band's drummer. And song number 8, that is King of Anything by Sarah Bareilles. One of the best concerts I've ever seen was actually going to the Hollywood Bowl in LA and watching Sarah Bareilles perform. She stayed an awful long time, did stuff from Waitress, and did just tons of stuff from her new album and her old albums. Great performer, great personality. And If you haven't figured it out yet, let me show you that the connection were populous U.S. counties. I believe all of these counties have at least 2 million residents according to the 2010 census. But you've got Cook County in Illinois, Clark County in Nevada, Harris County in Texas, Wayne County in Michigan, Los Angeles County in California, Kings County in New York, Queens County in New York, and King County in Washington. So Cook, Clark, Harris, Wayne, Los Angeles, Kings, Queens, and King. Kings and King. That was a fun one to work in there. Those are all populous U.S. counties, and that is your connection for our music round. All right, let's bring me back. There I am. And move on to round number 4. Round number 4, here we go. And question number 1, subtitled Mass Incarceration in the Age of Colorblindness. What is the title of the 2010 book by civil rights attorney Michelle Alexander that compares the American prison system to a modern version of a former post-slavery institution? Once again, what is the title of the 2010 book by civil rights attorney Michelle Alexander, subtitled Mass Incarceration in the Age of Colorblindness, that draws parallels between the American prison system and a post-slavery institution? That's the thing we're looking for there in question number 1. Question number 2. Mikhail Baryshnikov received his only Academy Award nomination for playing the dancer Yuri in what 1977 film about Oklahoma City ballerinas Amelia and Dee Dee Rogers? The Oklahoma City ballerinas Amelia and Dee Dee Rogers traveled to New York in what 1977 film for which Mikhail Baryshnikov earned his only Academy Award nomination for acting? That's question number 2. Question number 3. Apart from Chernobyl, which Japanese nuclear event of 2011 is the only one to reach the maximum level of 7 on the International Nuclear Event Scale? Termed major disaster, the level 7 on the International Nuclear Event Scale has only been reached by Chernobyl and what Japanese nuclear event of 2011? That one's question number 3. Let's see. I think I took out a clue that I'll give you now, which is just that the plant shares its name with the prefecture in which it's located. Question number 4. The sacred field of Folkvanger was part of the realm of what Norse goddess of love, beauty, and sex, seen on the following slide in her cat-led chariot? That is, which Norse goddess? It is said that half of the dead from battle would go to Valhalla, and half of them would go to Folkvanger, which was a field that was sacred to which Norse goddess of love, beauty, and sex, pictured here on her cat-led chariot? That's question number 4, looking for the name of that Norse goddess. Question number 5. Jean Valjean sings He is young, he's afraid, let him rest, heaven blessed, when rescuing Marius from the barricade in what Les Miserables musical number that shares its title with a tagline used to advertise a 2015 Ridley Scott film? So a 2015 Ridley Scott film used what tagline, which itself was also the title of a song from Les Miserables in which Jean Valjean rescues Marius from the barricade singing He is young, he's afraid, let him rest, heaven blessed. Looking for the title of that song, which was also, coincidentally, the tagline to a 2015 Ridley Scott film. That's question 5. Question number 6. While checking out AJ's Jewelry, that's a store, not just a guy named AJ's Jewelry. While checking out AJ's Jewelry, defensive tackle and alumnus Vince Wilfork had significant input on what item that would become a college staple starting in 2017. Once again, Vince Wilfork, defensive tackle and alumnus, had significant input on what item that would become a college staple starting in 2017. This item was inspired by Wilfork's trip to AJ's Jewelry. That's question 6. Question number 7. General Daniel Morgan defeated British forces under Banastre Tarleton at what 1781 battle of the American Revolution in South Carolina, named for the cattle fields on which it took place? Got some pretty good cattle content for you tonight. Once again, Daniel Morgan defeated Banastre Tarleton at what 1781 battle in South Carolina, named for the cattle fields on which it took place? And that is question number 7, which means we're on our last one. Question number 8. This is a fun one. Which northeastern state passed a 1999 act insisting that a, quote, good faith effort must be made to accompany the state pie, apple pie, with a glass of cold milk, vanilla ice cream, and, of course, a slice of cheddar cheese weighing a minimum of 1/2 ounce? Once again, a bit of vanilla ice cream, actually I believe a large scoop of vanilla ice cream according to the law, a glass of cold milk, and a 1/2 ounce slice of cheddar cheese are, by law, required to accompany the apple pie in what northeastern state? Again, they just insist you make a good faith effort. You just make sure you try. Looking for the name of the state? That's question 8. Here's your recap. Question number 1. What 2010 book by civil rights attorney Michelle Alexander compares mass incarceration in the American prison system to a former post-slavery institution? Question number 2. Mikhail Baryshnikov received his only Academy Award nomination for playing Yuri in what 1977 film about Oklahoma City ballerinas Amelia and Dee Dee Rogers? Question number 3. Apart from Chernobyl, which Japanese nuclear event, which took place in the namesake prefecture, is the only one to reach a maximum level of 7 on the International Nuclear Event Scale? Question number 4. What Norse goddess of love, beauty, and sex, seen on the following slide in her cat-led chariot, holds the field of Folkvanger sacred? So Folkvanger is a sacred field to which Norse goddess of love, beauty, and sex, who is seen here being pulled by a chariot by 2 cats? That's question number 4. Question number 5. Jean Valjean sings what song from Les Miserables while rescuing Marius from the barricade? The title of this song, coincidentally enough, was used as a tagline to advertise a 2015 Ridley Scott film. Moving on to question number 6. While checking out jewelry, defensive tackle and alumnus Vince Wilfork had significant input on what item that would become a college staple starting in 2017. Question number 7. At which 1781 battle of the American Revolution did General Daniel Morgan defeat Banastre Tarleton in South Carolina? The battle was named for the cattle fields on which it took place. And your last one of round 4. Which northeastern state, by law, insists that a good faith effort must be made to accompany its state pie, the apple pie, with a glass of cold milk, a large scoop of vanilla ice cream, and a at least 1/2 ounce slice of cheddar cheese? That's question number 8. And I'm going to wish y'all good luck as I roll it back to the beginning and get the countdown timer ready to go. You will have the standard 3 minutes. So good luck and hope to see your answers in soon. All right, didn't take any time at all to evaluate that round. I'm going to show you the correct answers, and then in just a moment, we're going to have a score check before we go into our final round. So here we go with round number 4's answers. Question number 1, subtitled Mass Incarceration in the Age of Color Blindness. What 2010 book by civil rights attorney Michelle Alexander compares mass incarceration in the American prison system to a former post-slavery institution? That is The New Jim Crow. Yep, The New Jim Crow is by Michelle Alexander, who is also a lecturer at Unity State College, I believe. I think it's Unity State College. Question number 2. Mikhail Baryshnikov received his only Academy Award nomination for playing the dancer Yuri in what 1977 film about Oklahoma City ballerinas Amelia and Dee Dee Rogers? Mikhail Baryshnikov was not alone in receiving a nomination for this film, and was also not alone in not winning for this film. This is The Turning Point, which was nominated for, I believe, 11 Academy Awards and won 0. Question number 3. Apart from Chernobyl, which Japanese nuclear event of 2011 is, so far, knock on wood, the only one to reach the maximum level of 7, termed major disaster, on the International Nuclear Events Scale? That would be... Oh, I forgot to add the answer. That is the Fukushima Daiichi disaster, the Fukushima disaster. It's said that a contributing factor to the Fukushima disaster was the earthquakes of only a few months prior that seemed to damage much of the equipment at the Fukushima nuclear plant. Sorry about that little cock up there. Question number 4. The sacred field of Folkvanger was part of the realm of what Norse goddess of love, beauty, and sex, seen on the following slide in her cat-led chariot? That would be Freya. Freya was the Norse goddess of love, beauty, and sex, and I believe one of the Vanir. Question number 5. Jean Valjean sings He is young, he's afraid, let him rest, heaven blessed, when rescuing Marius from the barricade in what Les Miserables musical number that shares its title with the tagline used to advertise a 2015 Ridley Scott film? That would be Bring Him Home. Apologies, of course, to all of the other theater people out there. I had a hard time finding a picture of Bring Him Home that really spells the narrative from any of the stage productions, so I had to use the Tom Hooper film. Moving on to question number 6. While checking out AJ's jewelry, defensive tackle and alumnus Vince Wilfork had significant input on what item that would become a college staple starting in 2017. That would be the University of Miami's turnover chain. Yeah, TJ wrote a bunch of these questions, of course, but this is the one that he came to me with and I thought was just absolutely brilliant. Vince Wilfork, while checking out a jewelry store with members of the Miami staff, basically said that, you need something to boost recruitment. A kid goes and makes a big play, you gotta acknowledge that, you gotta show it off. And that's when he had the idea to start working on the turnover chain, which is real nice, by the way. Question number 7. General Daniel Morgan defeated British forces under Bannister Tarleton at what 1781 Battle of the American Revolution that took place in South Carolina and was named for the cattle fields on which it transpired? That would be the Battle of Cowpens. The site of the Battle of Cowpens was known as Hannah's Cowpens. It was a decently well-known site for animal grazing. And question number 8. Which northeastern state passed a 1999 act insisting that an apple pie must be served with a cold glass of milk, large scoop of vanilla ice cream, and a slice of cheddar cheese that weighs at least a half ounce? The slice of cheddar probably gave it away. That is the state of Vermont. The conflict still ranges on as to whether you should accompany said apple pie with cheddar cheese, and there are interesting arguments on both sides. I, for one, like both of those things, so I'd love to give it a shot. Let's take a look at the scoring update. And let me tell you that we got in the bottom of the barrel with, again, best team names of the night. Kentucky Bear Jamboree is in 11th. Everybody's Working for the Weekend is in 10th. We've got 9th for Slumdog 10 Lakianair. We've got 8th for Team Coast to Coast. 7th for Kanye West Nile Virus. 6th for B3 Front Stroking King, who had a difficult music round, but they're definitely not alone in that. We've got 5th for Third Podium. Tied for 3rd with 41 points each is Stone Cold Jane Austen and Gentlefolk Octopodes. And so far, 2 teams, perfect scores, 42 points apiece for the Streaker, got closer to the end zone than the Chiefs, and Octopodes Nuts. Some excellent scores as we move into our final round. Good luck, everybody. Here's round number 5. Knock on wood that we don't get a tiebreaker out of here. Round number 5, your final round, starts now with question number 1. The wary, mournful tones of World War I poets Siegfried Sassoon and Wilfred Owen was largely seen as a reaction against the pro-war, glory-stumping poems of what other English author of poems such as The Soldier? What English poet of The Soldier was essentially seen as the anti-Siegfried Sassoon and Wilfred Owen, known for writing pro-war, glory-stumping poetry? That's question number 1. Question number 2. Ahmedabad is the largest city of which Indian state, which has been redacted from the following map? I apologize, you might have to blow that up a little bit, but basically there are all 31 Indian states that are on that map, and the one all the way on the left with the red rectangle is the one that we have redacted. Just want to know which Indian state is that. Its largest city again is Ahmedabad. I will leave that up for another 10 seconds at least so you can take a look at it. And again, you will see it twice more before you submit. So go ahead and take a look at that. If you need to, in fact, I think I'm actually going to just do this preemptively. I'm going to drop the actual image from that question into the respective chats so that you can take a better look at it, if I can do that. Give me a second. Just because it's a smaller than it should be image. Let's see, that's images. And, oh, nope. Don't do anything. Where are you? There you are. Control. And let me see if I can paste that. Not letting me paste it. Okay. I will put it up on the Octopus page right now, actually, and just let everybody take a look at it. Because, again, it is a smaller image, and I'd like everybody to have a fair shake at this one. So give me just a second to post that to the Octopus page. Photo. Image. And I'll quickly rename it so you can't just, read what I've named it. Sorry this is taking a bit longer than usual, but I just honestly believe that this is a small image and I don't want anybody to be punished for not getting it right because they couldn't read it. So that, just going to call it redacted. And it is being posted right now. There you go. That's on the main Octopus page. And I will move on to question number 3. Recently, an active NHL player surpassed Mike Gartner for 7th all-time leading scorer with his 709th goal. Both men were drafted in the first round by what NHL team in the years 1979 and 2004? So basically, Mike Gartner was drafted in the first round by what team in 1979? The person who recently surpassed Gartner as the 7th all-time leading scorer in NHL history was drafted in the first round by this team in 2004. And while we're talking about hockey, it seems fitting to introduce our flags, starting with this one over here, which is the flag of Quebec. And then, going with the Francophone theme, we have the flag of Haiti, which came up last week. And let's move on now to question number 4. Question number 4. On CSI Miami, the death of Marisol pushes Eric Delco and Horatio Caine to follow crime boss Antonio Riaz to what country in the series' first episode primarily set abroad? So once again, a revenge mission after the death of Marisol forces Eric Delco and Horatio Caine to follow a crime boss to what country in the first episode of CSI Miami that is primarily set abroad? That episode, by the way, took place in Season 5, which is the only other hint that I'll give you. And I believe it was a two-parter as well. This is question number 4. Now it's question number 5. Question 5. A song from an animated Disney film of the 1990s shares its name with what notorious British club, where John Wilkes once allegedly unleashed a baboon that he claimed was Satan incarnate? A prank involving a baboon took place at what notorious British club, which just happens to share its name with a song from an animated Disney film of the 1990s? That's question 5. Question 6. Similar in composition to a later, more famous work, which artist painted Bathers at Asnières, the work seen on the following slide? And once again, this is the Bathers at Asnières. I want to know which artist painted this work. It is similar in composition to a later and much more famous work by this same artist. Who painted the Bathers at Asnières? That is question number 6. Question number 7. Since its start as a small, bright spot in the burgeoning late 1970s Athens, Georgia music scene, which venue has been called the CBGBs of the South? And this question was contributed by Sarah and Rapp. Thank you very much, Sarah, for writing this question. One more time. Since its start as a small, bright spot in the burgeoning late 1970s music scene of Athens, Georgia, which venue has been called the CBGBs of the South? That's question number 7. And then Sarah also co-wrote this question. This is your last one of the night. Question number 8. After separating from her partner, David Carradine, what actress changed back to her original sweet-sounding surname and scored major success in 1988 in 2 films? One about an enduring friendship, and the other a film adaptation of a biblically inspired work. So 2 1988 films, 2 of them. One a film adaptation of a biblically inspired work, and the other a tale of enduring friendship. Both starred or co-starred what actress who gained much more fame and success after she separated from David Carradine and changed her name back to its original sweet-sounding surname? That's question number 8. That's all the questions I got for you. So let's recap them one more time. Question number 1. What English poet of The Soldier wrote pro-war, glory-stumping works to which Siegfried Sassoon and Wilfred Owen's own work was seen as a wary, mournful reaction? Looking for the World War I poet who was primarily a pro-war and glory-stumping poet and wrote The Soldier. Question number 2. Ahmedabad is the largest city of which Indian state, which has been redacted from the following map? I'm going to just go past the image here because it is posted on the Gentleman Octopus main page so you can have a better look at it. Question number 3. Recently, an active NHL player surpassed Mike Gartner for 7th all-time leading scorer with his 709th goal. Both men, Gartner and this still active player, were selected in the first round by what NHL team in the years 1979 and 2004? Again, looking for the name of the team there, not the player who recently surpassed Gartner. Question number 4. On CSI Miami, the death of Marisol triggers a revenge quest from Eric Delco and Horatio Caine, who follow the crime boss Antonio Riaz to what country in the series' first episode primarily set abroad? Looking for the name of the country there. Question number 5. A song from an animated Disney film of the 1990s shares its name with what notorious British club where John Wilkes once allegedly pranked members by unleashing a baboon he claimed was the incarnate Satan? Question number 6, similar in composition to a later, more famous work. This work here, The Bathers at Asnières, was painted by what artist? And this one, written by Sarah Ann Rapp, is question number 7. Since its start as a small, bright spot in the late 70s Athens, Georgia music scene, what venue has been called the CBGBs of the South? So again, the CBGBs of the South is a nickname of what small, bright spot in the Athens, Georgia music scene? That's question number 7. Again, looking for the venue. And question number 8. After separating from her partner David Carradine, what actress changed her name back to its original, sweet-sounding surname and scored major success with 2 films of 1988? One of those films was a tale of an enduring friendship. The other was the film adaptation of a biblically inspired work. That's question number 8. That's all I've got for you tonight. Best of luck, everybody, as you submit. For the image question about the Indian state, I will probably just bypass it again as we go through the recap. But it is posted on the Gentleman Octopus main page, so you can see it, blow it up, do whatever you need to do. Best of luck, everybody. See you on the other side. All right, got all those answers, got everything validated, and we have a real exciting finish to tonight's game, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, here are your correct answers from round number 5, starting with question number 1. What English poet of the soldier wrote largely pro-war, glory-stumping poems, to which the poetry of Siegfried Sassoon and Wilfred Owen was mostly seen as a wary, mournful reaction? That glory-hungry poet was Rupert Brooke, who unfortunately died in World War I as a result of a mosquito bite and subsequent septicemia. So definitely not sweet and becoming, dulce et decorum est. Question number 2. Ahmedabad is the largest city of which Indian state, which has been redacted from the following map? I hope it was a lot easier to read on the main page than it was here. Too much detail to condense there, and I'm sorry about that. But the state is Gujarat. Of course, the language of Gujarat is Gujarati, and it is the westernmost state of India. Question number 3. Recently, an active NHL player surpassed Mike Gartner as the 7th all-time leading scorer in NHL history. Both this player, who was drafted in 2004, and Gartner, who was selected in 1979, were first-round picks for what NHL team? That would be my own Washington Capitals. There's Gartner on the left, and the still active player who surpassed him on the right, Alexander Ovechkin. All right, question number 4. On CSI Miami, the death of Mary Sol, who is the sister of Eric Delco and the wife of Horatio Kane, led the two to follow crime boss Antonio Riaz to what country in a revenge arc? That would be Brazil. There's David Caruso in front of Corcovado. Question number 5. A song from an animated Disney film of the 1990s shares its name with what notorious British club where John Wilkes, yes, the John Wilkes that inspired the name John Wilkes Booth, unleashed a baboon that he claimed was Satan incarnate? That is the Hellfire Club. So Hellfire is what we're looking for in the answer there. Question number 6, similar in composition to a later, more famous work, The Bathers at Asnières, as seen on this slide here, was a work by what artist? That would be Georges-Pierre Seurat, who of course did Sunday Afternoon on the island of La Grande Jatte. According to what I read on Wikipedia, Asnières is an island that is right across from La Grande Jatte. So you can see how if you flip the perspective, you get the layout of Sunday Afternoon. Question number 7, and this one written by Sarah Rapp, is since its start as a small bright spot in the burgeoning late 1970s Athens, Georgia music scene, which venue has been called the CBGBs of the South. Originally named for its primary source of illumination, its small, bright primary source of illumination, as put in that question, it's 40 watt. The 40 watt club is what we were looking for. And the last question of the night, which was co-written with Sarah, after separating from her partner David Carradine, what actress changed back to her original sweet-sounding surname and scored major success in 1988 in 2 films, one about an enduring friendship and the other a film adaptation of a biblically inspired work? You've got the enduring friendship is Beaches, and the film adaptation of a biblically inspired work is The Last Temptation of Christ, based on the novel by Nikos Kazantzakis. And both of those films starred or co-starred Barbara Hershey. Barbara Hershey was the answer that we were looking for there. And now it is time to take a look at the results. All right, starting from the bottom, we've got Kentucky Bear Jamboree, very dear in my hearts for always repping the Kentucky malaprop that we had very early on in our career. Everybody's Working for the Weekend is in 10th place. Excellent halftime show. I really liked it. My little sister loves The Weekend and just adored every bit of it. In 9th place, we have Slumdog 10 La Quillionaire. In 8th place, we have Team Coast to Coast. In 5th, it is Kanye West Nile Virus. Tied for 5th is Gentlefolk Octopodes and B3 Front Stroking King. We've also got in 4th place, third podium. Yeah, 4th place, third podium. Third place, Stone Cold Jane Austen with 47 points. Second place with 49 points is Octopus Nuts. And in first place with an improbable perfect score, somebody knows their hockey and their Indian states and their Athens, Georgia music clubs, because I thought round number 5 was definitely harder. That was the streaker got closer to the end zone than the Chiefs did. Well done, both on your performance and on your excellent topical team name. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. Three quick things before I head out of here. First, again, I'm doing this solo because TJ's not feeling well. He's got a stomach ache. So if you can, please drop some get well messages in the various chats and see if we can pick him up a little bbit. Second, if you enjoy what we do and you'd like to support us and have the means to do so, please check out Venmo at McKinney-Sizemore and PayPal at ksizemore@hotmail.com in order to contribute and support us. We have a great time making this, though it is, a decent amount of hard work. Always fun to learn new things. Always fun to share those with you. And I was playing a little bit of classical music in between our rounds earlier today in order to kind of pump up my classical music quiz. I'm aiming for it to be close to 60 questions, and it'll be released on a pay-what-you-want basis. But look out on the Gentleman Octopus main page, in the Learned League pages, and on my own main page for the classical music quiz, which I will be dropping on February 10th, 1 week before the new Learned League season, so you can study up on all of the things you might have missed in the past or might miss in the future. Definitely check it out. Enjoy that classical music quiz. I had a lot of fun putting it together, learned a lot of new things, relearned many, many more things, and it would be great if you could chip in a little bit and get a nice 60-question quiz out of it. So hope you enjoy that. Hope you enjoyed the game. Everybody have a fantastic evening, and thank you for joining us. We'll see you next Monday at 9 o'clock Eastern. My name is McKinney, and good night.
call me.
All right, what's the number?
I've never had to call my own company. Someone will tell you upstairs. But Homer, on your way out, if you want to kill somebody, it would help me a lot. Hey, Homer, you're missing out on some fun.
Uh-oh, sorry. Let me just get my girlfriend and I'll go. Hey, Crystal, wake up!
Telegram.
Project Arcturus couldn't have succeeded without you. This will get you a little closer to that dream of yours. It's not the Dallas Cowboys, but it's a start. Drop me a line if you're on the East Coast. Hank Scorpio. Oh, the Denver Broncos!
I think owning the Denver Broncos is pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, explain to me why it isn't.
You just don't understand football, Marge.
Scorpio, he'll sting you with his dreams of power and wealth. Beware of Scorpio, his twisted twin obsessions are his blood to...
Ladies and gentlemen, the Springfield Mall, in conjunction with Nostalgia Licensing Corporation, is proud to present the Stars of Bonanza.
Thank you. I just wish Ben and Hoss and Little Joe and Hop Sing and Sheriff Roy and all your favorites could be alive today to see this wonderful turnout.
You know, on the series, we were always trying to kill the Cartwrights. But it looks like Father Time took care of that for us, right? Am I right, folks?
Oh, this sucks. Weren't there 3 Indians last year?
Look, Marge, they opened a new high-tech gadget store. You love high-tech gadgets.
No, I don't.
Like bull you don't. Come on.
Homer, please, you're hurting my arm.
No, I'm not.
Hey, Lise, check out the space-age toothbrush.
That's an electric nostril groomer.
Night vision goggles? A bathroom scale from a Soviet sub? A suede briefcase case? Anyone who needs this kind of status symbol must have some terrible emotional problems.
Marge, look! The world's best jacket. If I had this, it would show everybody. Show everybody.
Yes, finally. I would like to return your quote-unquote ultimate belt.
I see. Do you have a receipt? Quote-unquote, sir?
No, I do not have a receipt. I won it as a door prize at the Star Trek convention, although I find their choice of prize highly illogical, as the average Trekker has no use for a medium-sized belt.
Whoa, fat, sarcastic Star Trek fan. You must be a devil with the ladies.
Hey,
Gee, I hate to let you down, Casanova, but no receipt, no return.
I'll give you $4 for it.
Very well. I must hurry back to my comic book store, where I dispense the insults rather than absorb them.
Wow! I bet if God wore pants, he'd have a belt like that. This isn't a belt, it's a tactical pants retaining system. Check it out. Compass, matches, whistle, saw, panic button, squirrel snare, radon/lie detector, sphygmomanometer, and it's even got turn signals.
Hey, Simpson, want to trade belts?
Well, Not really, 'cause yours is just a piece of extension cord.
Hey, dude, he's ragging on your cord. Get him!
No running! Time for a little evasive action.
Hey, he's turning left!
Help! 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 Help!
I was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but you guys asked for it. Can't you read? Call the police! Hey, Dad.
Looking good, son. Hey, what happened to your belt?
Some bullies beat me up and took it.
Son, there's only one thing punks like that understand. Squealing. You've got to squeal to every teacher and every grown-up you can find. Coming to me was a good start.
But then they'll just beat me up even worse.
Yes, they are a clever bunch. I know. I'll squeal for you to their parents.
Ugh, that's for telling me how to raise my lousy kid.
This is for the crummy life I've had to live. Ugh.
The thing is, Bart really loves that belt and...
Hey, something's wrong with this guy. He's not falling down.
Fun's over, fellas. If you're gonna beat up my friend in my bar, there's a 2-drink minimum. Jeez, Homer, I never seen a guy stand up to that kind of punishment. I mean, you took a 3-man pounding and didn't even fall down.
Big deal. I didn't even get my kid's belt back. The only thing a loser like me is good for is taking beatings.
There you go. That's the spirit. Homer, I seen prize fighters couldn't take a punch half as good as you. You know, boxing might be right up your alley.
Really?
Oh, please, it's the good life, Homer. Some of these boxers, they eat steak and lobster and salad bar all in a single meal.